Hi, good morning and welcome to the Digital Dealer webinar series. Today we have Phil Sura, the Vice President of Sales for UnityWorks Media. Phil has been involved in video for the past 9 years, picking up the nickname Mr. Video. He is a regular contributor to Dealer Magazine, a regular speaker at Digital Dealer Conference and Exposition, and will be presenting today's webinar titled Required Components in Building a Successful Video Strategy. Take it away, Phil.
Well, thank you, Erin, and I appreciate everybody that's on the call. And today our focus is building a groundbreaking video strategy. As mentioned, I've been involved in video for the past 9 years, and it's been great to see how video has grown tremendously just over the last couple of years. So the key points that I want everybody to walk away with is, number one, how you can leverage a fairly new concept, video pre-roll, and how you can leverage video pre-roll to absolutely make an impact on selling cars. Number two, leveraging video with your website to drive website conversion. And finally, leveraging video to drive organic search results with Google. Google places a higher priority on video content. It's 52 times more likely to appear on page 1 of the search results. So these are three specific initiatives that I believe every dealership should be embracing. Just as a starting point, I love this quote: you have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anybody else, Einstein. So if we think of the rules of the game with retail, the retail car business, it's changed tremendously over the last couple of years. The economy is a factor, absolutely the internet, and if you look at it, let's say 7 years ago, once upon a time, the car shopping process was much, much different than what we experience today. And from an advertising perspective, 7 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, when you looked at traditional advertising, the whole focus was to drive the customer in to test drive a car. 7 years ago, the prospects would visit, let's say, 5 dealerships physically within a 20-mile radius. Well, things have changed dramatically since that period of time. As a matter of fact, I borrowed this slide from Peter Lito with Google, and I love it because I think it's a good overview as to what's going on today. And it's no longer a single path to the purchase. As a matter of fact, because of the internet, because of the availability of all of these various sources like AutoTrader and Cars.com and Kelley Blue Book, and mobile search and online video advertising, the prospects are only physically visiting 1 or 2 dealerships. The number that continues to be referenced is 1.2 dealerships on average. Now, I've had a couple guys debate that, and they'll say, well, no, it's 1.6. So regardless if it's 1.2, 1.6, or 2 dealerships, hopefully everybody will agree that it's a lot different from, let's say, 5 or 7 years ago. Now, virtually, they're still visiting 5 or 6 dealerships in the car buying process, but physically, they're only going into the ones that make the impact on that during that process of looking at the options. And as noted at the bottom, the consumer is willing to drive a further distance today than, let's say, 5 years ago. So what are the problems associated with this? Well, number one, gaining the attention through this maze of available information. How do you stand out? Separating your website from the 18 other sources that the prospect will visit when they're going through this virtual online analysis. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're visiting 18 other dealer websites, but they're visiting 18 other sources, whether it's video content on YouTube, AutoTrader, Cars.com, the OEM sites, etc. Developing an online hook. Once you get the consumer to either visit your site or one of your ads online, how do you actually hook them and really make a lasting impression? And then finally, this concept of driving, let's say, further distances. And with all the data, I've shared this with a number of general managers and dealers. The last piece is actually the most argued, or the piece that's debated the most. And I have some dealers that will say, No, because of the density of dealers in my area, my store's in New Jersey, that's absolutely not the case. I have other dealers in Jersey or Boston that will say, hey, I lost a car deal over $250 to a fellow dealer in a different state. But let's not get hung up on the 100 miles. Let's agree that everything has changed dramatically over the last 5 years, and that the consumer is making a determination as to which dealerships to visit because of the online initiatives. So let's talk about solutions to these various problems. Solution number one, video pre-roll. I only have an estimate, but at the tier 3 level, I believe that less than 10% of the dealers today are involved in video pre-roll. As word of mouth gets out, and as we look at the opportunities and the ROI, within 1 year, I know that that's going to go up tremendously because of the results that we're getting. But sadly, a lot of dealers aren't even aware of what video pre-roll is. You all have probably experienced video pre-roll at some point when you go to watch an ad and you see a 5-second opt-out type of commercial or advertisement in advance of the video that you're trying to select. That's video pre-roll. So what I want to do is show you an example of what video pre-roll looks like from a dealership perspective, and then we'll talk about the specifics of how it works. Temecula Mazda is in Southern California. So imagine this is your dealership and you're targeting people that are involved in searching out video-related content on a specific brand, whether if you're a Mazda dealer, on people researching Mazda products, or you can do conquesting with this within a geo-targeted area. So imagine that this is a 20 or 30-mile radius around your dealership. So in this case, in this example, somebody's looking for a specific unit, 2014 Mazda 6. These are customers well down the sales funnel because they're actively engaged in trying to get content.
Choose John Hein Temecula Mazda and save. We're the #1 dealer in San Diego and Riverside County. Click on the video right now and grab a $200 additional trade-in certificate. Then hurry in and test drive the all-new 2014 Mazda 6 with a lease special for only $219 a month. Click on the video now and grab an additional $200 on your trade, only at John Hein Temecula Mazda, conveniently located on the corner of Inez and DLR in the Temecula Valley Auto Mall. I got mine at Hein. Get yours today.
Now, these are 5-second opt-out, 30-second pre-roll spots. In other words, the customer or the prospect has the option of opting out of the video pre-roll, after 5 seconds. But if we do our job effectively, knowing that this is a consumer looking for relevant automotive content, in the first 5 seconds, we should talk about the name of the store. If they watch the entire video piece of 30 seconds, the dealer is actually pays for that type of initiative. If they only watch, let's say, 15 seconds or 10 seconds of the 30-second spot, you're not billed for that specific consumer experience. But the whole goal with video pre-roll is to get the consumer to click on the hyperlink and end up on the dealer's website. Now we're going to talk in a minute about high engagement landing pages that we would suggest that you direct the consumer to. But if you're setting these video pre-roll spots up on your own, you can direct them to your home page or the inventory pages, whatever you desire. So what did we experience? As I mentioned, you can geo-target this. You can set it up with your DMA, cities, zip codes, or a specific radius, which tends to be the focus of most dealers. Depending on the brand that you represent, you could actually target, if you're a Ford dealer in, let's say, Chicago, if Ford allows this, you could target other areas even outside of your DMA. Now, most of the OEMs are starting to focus more and more, and they're restricting this type of marketing or advertising like everything else where you have to focus on your DMA. Topical targets. You can And what we would recommend is you zero in specifically on the automotive initiatives. An example would be fuel-efficient cars. Specific keyword phrases, whatever your brand is, makes and models, along with conquesting customers. So if you're a Honda dealer and you're trying to conquest Toyota, this is a great opportunity to show the all-new Honda Accord for a consumer that's on YouTube specifically seeking out information on Toyota. Video remarketing is another opportunity with the cooperation of the web company. So you have to have the ability to work with the website. You can remarket customers that hit your site. So let's say you get 5,000 unique visitors each month. We can add a cookie to those prospects so that whenever they're on YouTube for a set period of time, let's say for 30 days, we can remarket to those customers and get the dealership brand in front of that consumer. Same thing with the YouTube channel that you have up at this point. So let's say that you have 200 VIN-specific walkarounds in a YouTube channel. You can remarket off of that YouTube channel and actually follow that prospect by adding cookies with those customers as well. So the whole goal is to get them off of YouTube onto, let's say, either a landing page or to get them to your website. And I touched on this at the beginning, and this is a key point. If you have a 30-second video spot for the pre-roll, they have to watch all 30 seconds in order to actually get, before the dealership actually has to pay anything. So typically these are $1,000 campaigns or $1,200 or $1,500 depending on the area. You would probably want to allocate, let's say, a little bit more money if you're in the middle of Los Angeles compared to being in, let's say, Laramie, Wyoming, or in the middle of Nebraska. So regardless of the spend, let's say you're spending $1,500, you've allocated that amount to the focus for a specific type of campaign. Out of that $1,500, and I'm saying this 3 times because it's a key point, you don't get dinged or you're not charged for that if they just watch part of the pre-roll. But there's still a huge value because if you're focused on the automotive side, you're still giving some type of impression to that consumer, including the name of your dealership and who you guys are. Now, what are some of the results that we're seeing? Well, Temecula Mazda. And what we try to do is focus on taking whatever the ad spend is. In this case, it was $1,300. And we focus a percentage in the broad category, which would be general automotive. A percentage of those dollars go to the competition or conquesting, and a percentage to the OEM. So in this case, for this month, with the Mazda 3, we spent $1,300. The impressions, as far as what it worked out to with the cost per 1,000 or CPM, was $12.15. In terms of cost per view, at the end of the day, it was 7 cents. And in terms of cost per click, it was $1.12. As a general rule, we're seeing anywhere from $1.10 to $2.10, depending on the brand and the area. Now, another interesting point, and if we focus just on the competition, this dealer was most likely focused against Nissan, etc. And in terms of the number of click-throughs to the website, with conquesting, we had 286 folks end up on the dealer's website. These may be people that have never even considered a Mazda or a Toyota or a Chevrolet, but because of the impact of the preview or the video pre-roll, they actually not only watched the pre-roll, but they actually ended up on the dealer's website. Now, did it result in any additional sales? This is the general manager, Bill, and I actually called Bill to make sure that he wasn't running additional campaigns, whether it was TV or radio. And the only initiative that Bill ran this specific month was pre-roll. He jumped his Mazda 3 sales from 25 to 45, the very first month that he was running this. So after about 3 months, he shifted gears and took the dollars being designated to the Mazda 3 to the Mazda 6. Within 2 weeks, he actually called back in and said, I want to double up. I want to allocate funds both for the 3s as well as the 6s, because he noticed an immediate decline in the traffic, whether it was phone-ups or just walk-ins on the Mazda 3s. So why YouTube? Well, they're the largest video site. Most people are aware of that. A lot of folks are not aware that YouTube is now the second largest search engine, only behind their parent, Google. And when we look at video sites, the second largest video site is actually their mobile site. 85.2% of U.S. internet users are watching online video. And in visiting with dealer groups, it's kind of interesting. It's a generational issue. With the folks that are, let's say, above the age of 45, they're really not aware as much as those in their 20s or 30s as to how YouTube has gained incredible ground just over the last couple years. If you haven't gone on the YouTube channel lately, you can get your news, sporting events, and zero in on conducting research for the various models out there. There was an interesting article that I'd encourage everybody to look up with Google's chairman, Eric Schmidt. An interesting point for those in the 18 to 34-year-old age bracket, YouTube is stronger than any cable network out there. Now, I had touched on the bottom part of this, average results for a $1,000 investment. The CPM is all over the map, let's say $7 to $13. The cost per view, it gets a little narrower, 8 cents to 11 cents, and cost per click is anywhere from $1.25 to $2.20. There are ranges because, again, if you're a Mercedes dealer, you're going to be focused on the luxury market more so than across the board. If you're a Chevy or Honda dealer, the cost per click-through to the website is actually going to be a little bit lower. Now, I'm going to share another example with you. This dealer is located in the D.C. area. They're the largest Chevy store. They've been around for 40 years. They set a record with Silverado sales as a result of getting involved in video pre-roll. Now, and again, just to mention it a second time, Washington, D.C., hugely competitive market. They were already number one. They set a record. And as we go through this, take note of the number of times that we're saying click here, because we want the consumer to take action, to actually click on the hyperlink and go to the website. And I'm going to let it play through so that you can get an idea as to what one of these high engagement video pages looks like. So we're taking a consumer, this may be a prospect, it may be somebody that has bought, let's say, 3 F-150s in the past 10 years, and they've never even considered a Chevy. Or it may be somebody that is a Chevy buyer that's new to the market or doesn't even know about Lindsay. So we're going to play through it. Again, it's a 5-second opt-out, 30-second spot. Now, in this case, the consumer is looking for fuel-efficient cars. And as I'd mentioned, they set a record. These guys are running 5 campaigns a month on all of their hotter units. In this case, it's focused on one of their cars. So the search is fuel-efficient units.
Discover the new 2013 Chevy Cruze with great lease and financing rates at Lindsay Chevrolet. Click on this video at any time to get more information on these fantastic offers on the hot 2013 Cruze, starting at $13,724. Click on the video right now and discover exceptional savings. And remember, you'll love it at Lindsay.
All right, now I've clicked on the hyperlink, and now I'm over on the dealer's website.
The Chevrolet Cruze, for the journey, the destination, and everything in between. Cruze redefines everything a compact car should be with one simple word: more. More efficiency, more safety, more features. And right now, more savings. Check out the special offers on this page and drive one today. You want a car that makes the most out of every dollar you put in the gas tank without sacrificing performance and handling. To get those results, you need to have a pretty impressive engine, and Cruze absolutely does. The available 1.4-liter turbocharged engine is designed for fuel efficiency without compromising performance. It delivers 138 horsepower with 148 pound-feet of torque and accelerates with authority. The interior of the Cruze is cavernous and elegant. Cruze offers the latest in mobile technology, like the available Chevrolet MyLink radio with 7-inch diagonal color touchscreen, and the latest in safety features like available rear cross traffic alert. An infotainment system puts the world at your fingertips and keeps you protected and in touch with the help of OnStar. We've equipped the Cruze with numerous safety features, including the StabiliTrak electronic stability control system with traction control. Cruze helps protect you and your passengers with 10 standard airbags. The journey begins with the 2013 Chevrolet Cruze.
I love my salesperson. They seem to know exactly what I needed, and that's why I'll keep coming back to my dealership.
You'll love it at Lindsay. We're customer-driven and one of the nation's largest Chevrolet dealers. Great prices, great service, great selection. Call, click, or stop in today. We're conveniently located at 15605 Jefferson Davis Highway in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Okay, so what I'm doing with this high engagement landing page, especially for, let's say, people that do not know about the Chevy Cruze, is I'm doing a walk around, if you would, virtually. And going back to one of the first slides that I had, where the average consumer physically only visits 1.2 stores, if you guys agree with that, what we need to do is separate our site and our experience when somebody hits our website from the masses. And so there are 4 simple videos. The first 2 focus on the unit itself. The third one is a testimonial, somebody that's bought a car at the dealership. The last one is kind of a why buy here overview, to really give an overview not just of the unit but also of the dealership. So how did these guys fare? Well, in terms of CPM, it was $12.31, 8 cents cost per view, $1.11 cost per click-through over to the website. As I'd mentioned, they did very well off of the beginning. The first campaign that they ran was on a Silverado, and if you're getting involved in these, I would recommend focus on the units that are hot where you have inventory. So the budget was $1,000. The campaign was started late in the month. First month they spent $501. They had 43,000 impressions. 10% of those were completed views. 323 click-throughs to the website, 43 form submissions, 23 phone-ups, record month for Silverado sales. I love the quote that Paul gave us at the bottom. Our budget was $1,000. We couldn't have generated this type of volume, and I cut it off, unfortunately, with $9,000 for a radio spot. Now it works. This approach works with any brand. Here's a Buick GMC store, and what we're noticing is higher engagement once we pull those consumers in. So this dealership is using additional video content that we're actually providing for them. Examples would be VIN-specific walkarounds, monthly sales specials, maybe content tied to the service department. And when we started getting involved in pre-rolls and the model video landing pages, we started seeing a huge spike. So in this case, it was a 10-fold spike. And we started to initially conclude, well, it was all tied to the video on that one page. Well, not so. The engagement was actually much higher. So once we were moving the consumers from the video pre-roll spot into the website, they were actually going through the entire site looking at the additional activity. An additional opportunity is driving unique visitor count, for the point that I've mentioned over and over, that you're focusing in some cases on grabbing the attention of consumers that may not even know you guys exist. A Subaru dealership, which is up in the Northeast, Suburban Subaru. I'll just play a little bit of the beginning of this so that you can see that this is a desire to actually have the dealer voice the intro to keep the advertising consistent.
Subarus cost less in Vernon. Click on the video now to see the fantastic deals at Suburban Subaru.
And what was interesting with this, or the Suburban Subaru opportunity, the general manager initially did not buy in. He didn't believe that video pre-roll would help at all. and he became a believer after the first month. The only reason that he actually got engaged was he has 2 teenage daughters, and as he put it, they were on YouTube constantly, so he wanted to give it a shot. That store, by the way, in the last year has gone from 106 units, new and used, a month to over 200. Now, some of that is because Subaru's a lot hotter, but the bottom line is they shifted gears. They identified that it's a different game today, and they started to embrace video concepts as a different way of actually going after the market. Now, an additional benefit with products like these high engagement landing pages, we are utilizing a concept called video site mapping, and every website has site mapping. That allows the crawlers to actually link or to allow the dealer to get visibility on Google. So we connect the video site map to the site map that exists, and the opportunities are tremendous where we're actually gaining additional visibility within Google for the reasons I'd mentioned before. So this is a direct link, not to a YouTube channel, but directly to the dealer's page. So you guys can actually do this on your own. Just type in 2013 Lexus GS offers or offer in Chicago, and you'll see McGrath Lexus on top of the organic search results. Now, I know that a percentage of you are going to say, well, okay, that's a long tail search because of the offers. You can actually look at different variations of this, and the point is it's an additional opportunity to gain visibility organically. So solution number 2, integrating video into your website. And as I'd mentioned at the beginning of the session, or when Aaron was going through my bio, I've been involved in video now for 9 years. The first product that we were involved in was a VIN-specific video walkaround. I'm not going to talk about that because it's 9 years old, and most Metro dealers or most dealers in general have some type of video walkaround. I would recommend that you have a video walkaround both on your new and used cars. And if you're not taking photos of your new, or if you're not doing video walkarounds of your new, do at least 10 or 15 a month so you're getting some visibility when you publish that content to your website. Now, the video content on your website should go beyond just the VIN-specific walkarounds. That's becoming expected by the consumer today. The whole reason for that is it can help drive website conversion. And just so that we're on the same page, because different companies actually define website conversion differently. We're defining website conversion as phone ups plus email leads divided by unique visitor count. So if I'm a dealer and if I have 5,000 unique visitors, and if I'm average at a 5% conversion rate, I'm getting 250 email leads and phone ups off of my website. If I close at 10%, just to make the math easy, I'm closing 25 car deals as a result. Now, most dealers that I visit with are focused on 2 areas: driving the number of uniques and then the closing ratio. So people will go to conferences and they hear that the superstars are at 20% closing, they're at 10. That's a key focus, and it should be. Or if they're at 5,000, they're trying to figure out how do I drive additional people into that funnel. And again, I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. That's a great focus, but a lot of dealers are not focused on this middle ground. How do I actually drive conversion? So Wayne Ussery is the director of one of the top-rated e-commerce groups in the country, according to Ward's Automotive. He's been engaged with video for 7 years. The Jim Ellis Group is based in Atlanta. If you're not familiar with them, they sell Volkswagens and Audis. They have a Chevy store and a Mazda operation. So they are not selling what you would typically think of as a high-volume type of vehicle. So here's what happened. Here's some basic stats before and after video. So if we just focus on the group, the average time on site before they added video was 5 minutes, 42 seconds. After video, it was 7 minutes and 6 seconds. The conversion jumped from 972, and again, the average store is converting at 5%. That's a good job. These guys were already almost double that. They went from 972 to 11.44 They're selling 650 cars just through their internet teams. That represents 52% of all retail sales. Now, I've had questions, are you saying that the only thing that this guy did during this period of time was embrace video? No, but it's one of his key puzzle pieces, as Wayne puts it. They believe in video, and they absolutely embrace and believe the next statement, that there's a direct correlation with time on site and website conversion. That if you can improve your time on site, you'll convert at a higher rate. And if you're not looking at your own metrics as far as time on site and looking at metrics tied to conversion, I'd highly recommend that. Now, what are some of the things that you can add? JM Lexus is the #1 Lexus store in the world. They have been for 20 some odd years. If you go to your the JM Lexus site, you'll see some of the high engagement model video landing pages that I shared with you. You'll also see an overview of the new model content. Now, the reason that a dealership should have new model content should be obvious, but I'll just connect the dots. You don't want the consumer that hits your site physically or virtually actually going to, let's say, the OEM site, if you can avoid it. You want to keep them on your site and show everything that the consumer may be interested in. You'll also notice an About Us type of video that JM leads, an experience as to what the consumer can experience if they come into the store. So you can get to this, the contents at the bottom under new models, and here's what
JM Lexus,
you'll see.
the world's #1 Lexus dealer since 1992. There are many reasons to choose JM Lexus as your dealership of choice. We're able to offer you an outstanding selection of Lexus vehicles and offer them at a great price. With the JM price, you can expect to pay less for a new Lexus luxury vehicle. With our guest Bill of Rights, you can expect courteous professional assistance from trained associates.
Okay, now I'm going
the 2013 Lexus.
Now I'm going to go to one of the specific models, and this is content that that we actually have available, or you can get it from the manufacturer.
From 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, the IS250 is swiftly propelled by a 2.5-liter V6, providing 204 horsepower. The available.
So the point of this is, and again, I'm going to say it for the third time, if the average consumer is virtually going to 18 different sites, including, let's say, 5 dealership sites, in their buying experience, but they're only physically going into 1 or 2 stores, what these guys are doing is they're giving some real reasons or content, especially with that About Us type of video, as to why they should be one of the stores that are being visited. Jeff Weiler is a pretty successful group. Some of you may know of Kevin Fry, outstanding director, and he himself actually has a pretty strong following with a number of folks. So if you go to their sites, you'll see a homepage player, and along with content that's created both by our company actually, as well as by the dealership. So this is on their homepage. It's muted initially when the customer hits the site, and it has information tied to specials, service, what's referred to as service educational videos, new model video content, and testimonials. So again, it's muted so that we don't irritate anybody.
Looking for a new way to buy a Honda? Check out the Weiler Way at Jeff Weiler Honda in Florence and of Colerain. With the Weiler Way, you'll get fair, upfront pricing and service on over 1,400 new and pre-owned Hondas. From a knowledgeable, friendly staff, your new Honda is backed by factory service technicians in our award-winning service department. Experience the Weiler Way.
Jeff Weiler Honda in Florence, Colerain, and of course, online at jeffweilerhonda.com. Visit one of our Jeff Weiler Honda dealers today and see for yourself why customers just like you have given Jeff Weiler Honda top reviews on DealerRater.com. We're located at 949 Burlington Pike in Florence, Kentucky.
Okay, now I'm on a service
Jeff Weiler Honda.
I'm on a service tab, and there's various content tied to oil changes, tire rotations, suspension, HVAC, AC, and this is video content that is brand specific or OEM specific, and it allows the consumer to actually see a video on whatever their potential service need is. Underneath is an overview of the new model content, followed by testimonials. And I highly recommend that you consider having, let's say, 15-second testimonials of the consumers that are happy about the car buying experience. We're getting a lot of traction. Those videos can also be linked into YouTube, where you can tag them to get additional opportunities organically. As a matter of fact, I'll play through the new model video, and I want everybody just to see an example of one of the testimonials from the Weiler site.
Sell yourself in the Accord with the 2.4-liter iVTEC 4-cylinder engine. Add even more of a boost with the 278 horsepower 3.5-liter iVTEC V6 engine. Shift in style with available continuously variable transmission with sport mode and paddle shifters. The new Accord introduces Honda Link, a cloud-based system that connects you to Bluetooth streaming audio, Pandora internet radio, SMS text message functional, and all your favorite digital music content without hassling with your mobile phone. Providing greater peace of mind for the driver, the Accord will debut ingenious new available safety features.
All right, now we're on the
I recommend Jeff Weiler because I feel like they have my best interest at heart. I feel like they were fair and honest to deal with, and it's a place that I would send my mother back.
Now, if you're doing testimonials, have the customer sign a waiver allowing you to actually broadcast that. Just on a side note, if you don't have one, if you don't have a form like that, email me and I'll send you a sample. Now, here's an example of a dealership who has video content, these service educational videos, built into their specific service site. And more of the dealers that we've been working with for years are saying, hey, we want video content for our service and parts area. We know that it's been helping us from a sales perspective, and this is a dealer on-site integrated in, and I heard from one of our Toyota dealers that the top-rated Toyota service site in terms of, according to Toyota, in terms of really producing results, is a site similar to this. It's a Toyota dealer somewhere in eastern Pennsylvania. But the point is that the video content enhances the experience. So it's not just sales. As a matter of fact, here's an example where you click on brakes and you get a video tied to the brakes area or the brakes in general.
Cars have become an essential part of our on-the-go lifestyle.
Now, in terms of additional opportunities, you can add monthly sales specials for sales and or service. And so here's a Chevy store in the Chicago area that is promoting the lease rate for the Traverse, and you have the opportunity to send this off as a video email campaign. You don't have to just have it on the site. The result of using video in email campaigns are significant. The click-through rate is much higher as a result of using, so for those of you that are using email campaigns, I'd recommend that you try using some type of video attached to it. So the third solution I'd like to talk about is the concept that we call AVSEO, or Accelerated Video Search Engine Optimization. Now, when you think of SEO, which is the focus of your website, it's tied to Google. VSEO is tied to YouTube, and the majority of the folks on this call probably have a YouTube channel. AVSEO is actually publishing video content to sites beyond YouTube, sites like Metacafe, Vidler, and Vimeo Dailymotion. Now, I would not recommend that you take your VIN-specific walkarounds and publish it to these additional sites. It would be content that you have up for a longer period of time. And the end result is we're getting tremendous visibility on the first page of Google search results. So, and again, you guys can jot this down and do the searches yourself. If we're looking for a 2013 Cadillac CTS in Boston, The client is Cadillac of Norwood. So you can see organically we have positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I'm looking for a Cadillac in the Boston area, and if I see something like this, most likely I'm not going to watch every one of the videos, but I'm going to take note as to who the dealership is, and they almost appear to be little billboards for this specific store. Here's another example, 2013 BWCC in Marietta. This is the Jim Ellis store. So again, you see Jim Ellis, Jim Ellis, Jim Ellis, Jim Ellis. The same concept actually works with the service side, so that service content becomes a dual opportunity. Adding it to your website, actually threefold. Adding it to your website, having the ability to click and send those educational videos out to a prospect, and finally publishing it to these sites. So if I'm looking for Cadillac brakes in Boston, and if we have any other Cadillac dealers on this conference, you should pay attention to this because these are all web. It's not just video. So again, we have the same dealer represented in positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we'll do variations of this. It may be brake repairs, brake pads, etc. But if you're looking for organic reach, this is a great way to do it. Now, as a summary, the 3 key areas that we're focused on is video SEO, video pre-roll, and I like to actually refer to that as video SEM, and then video integrated into the website. 3 distinctly different initiatives. All 3 are critical components to building a key strategy. And with that, what I'd like to do is open it up for any questions tied to any of those 3 initiatives. So Erin, if you want to take it.
Okay, I have one question here from Dan. Who is producing the service videos and make model videos, the dealer's ad agency or UnityWorks?
Yeah, actually UnityWorks has produced those, and we, as mentioned, we have the videos created that are brand specific. So we have content for Toyota, Honda, GM, etc. And the way that we produced it, we actually went into various dealerships to shoot that content so that it was specific to the brand.
Okay. I have another question here from Jason. How do you address mobile video strategy?
Well, that's good because the latest data shows that half of the views coming in to the website are mobile. And so these are all mobile-enabled sites or pages that we're actually using. So being mobile compliant or mobile enabled is absolutely paramount. And hopefully that answered. If not, just send a second question. And it's easy to check. Just pull up your cell phone and actually go to one of these sites to confirm it yourself. But if you're doing this, make sure that it's HTML5. Other questions?
Okay, next question is from Joseph. How long after a website visit should we be retargeting a person with video?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would do it right away because if they're in that sales funnel, I would retarget that prospect with, let's say, over a 30-day period of time. I wouldn't follow them forever. But if they've made it to your website, they're certainly in the sales funnel, probably lower funnel prospects. And I would absolutely, if you're doing retargeting with video pre-roll, zero in on that prospect to get the name. It's all frequency and reach. You know, it's advertising 101 to really get the name of that dealership embedded into the prospect's mind. So the recommendation, nobody's asked me that, but I think that's a great question, is to do it right away.
Okay, next question is, this is coming in from Bonnie. Does it work as well to use manufacturer video for new vehicles embedded in our website as locally produced new videos?
Well, I like to brand the dealership, and I like intros and outros to brand the store, but I think having any content, whether it's the manufacturer or you have the agency produce some type of new model overview, I think that's going to be 50 years or 50 times more effective than not having anything. A recommendation would be to have some type of quick little intro. It could be 3 seconds, just the name of the store at the beginning. So whether it's the OEM content or content created by the agency or content created by us, have it on your website.
Okay, we have another question from Jim. Do you pay even if someone skips your video?
Pardon me?
Do you pay even if someone skips your video?
Yeah, okay, so for the video pre-roll, I think the question is if they watch all 30 seconds of it, you're paying for that specific prospect. If it's video pre-roll and they skip it, you absolutely do not pay out of whatever the allocated budget is for the campaign. So if you have a $1,000 budget and they skip it, as a matter of fact, let's say that they go past the 5 seconds and they watch 10 seconds of the 30-second pre-roll spot, you still do not pay for that experience. But there's still a benefit to the customer because they've watched 10 seconds of your pre-roll.
Okay. Looks like we have one more question. This is from Karen. Why aren't a higher percentage of dealers involved with online video advertising?
No, I'm glad you asked that. I think that it's lack of awareness that it exists. I can pretty much guarantee 1 year from today, you're buying available inventory. And I think that the costs will start to go up. We certainly have experienced that with pay-per-click or what a lot of dealers have embraced as far as SEM. And I am absolutely not suggesting that you eliminate your SEM and that you take all those dollars and put it into video pre-roll. What I'm suggesting is this will complement what you're doing from an SEM perspective. So the reason why dealers are not embracing this and why only a small percentage of dealers are doing it is, number one, the lack of awareness that it even exists, the fact that most dealers and general managers are not aware of the opportunities associated with YouTube. And I had a classic meeting with a dealer group about a month ago, and on my right was a general manager that oversaw 3 dealerships with his fixed operations manager. On the left, I had the internet director along with the marketing director. The folks on my left, the marketing director and the internet director, were 30 or late 20s. The general manager was about 52, 53. The fixed operations manager was in his 50s as well. So I went through an overview of what video pre-roll was all about. The initial response from the general manager was, hey, I only watch YouTube video for the funny videos. And the service director followed up with, yeah, there's no way YouTube is going to make an impression to actually cause a consumer to make a difference, to make an impact. So fortunately, the younger folks, the director on the internet side and the marketing director actually said, you know, you guys are wrong. And I believe that this will influence consumers to make a change. And they prevailed, and these guys got involved in video. But I really believe that the average dealer, when they hear a YouTube strategy, is not aware that of the percentage, 85% of the people that are online are actually using YouTube on a regular basis, and aware that this is a huge opportunity from an advertising perspective.
Great. Okay, well, that wraps up the questions. Thank you all for attending the webinar today, and we look forward to more webinars in the future.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to attend the session. If anybody has any questions or if you want to email me or call me, please feel free to do that. Thank you for your time today.